let's roll. Okay.
All right.
So
okay.
yeah, basically, I was recommended to you by Tyler.
Yes.
But then the thing is, like, I know of your brands like for many years already. When I was
that's good.
like 19, I'm really at like standing sushi and everything, enjoying the Tuesday sashimi and all. But yeah, but for myself and Tyler, right, we didn't actually meet at Zouk. It's like when I was no longer at Zouk, and then he came like I think 1 year later. So it's like we just like pass each other.
Right.
But I think because of like the content that we do and the guests that we get, everything is interconnected, I guess.
Yeah. Singapore's a small place also, right? Like everyone kind of knows each
Yeah,
other.
precisely.
Mutual friends.
Okay, so I guess before we like actually dive deep, right?
Yeah.
I think you have something for us, right? This was just like, I wasn't even totally expecting this, okay? You're like coming here is really like amazing.
No, I mean, I think I did bring some sushi. I brought some sake, but I think we should start with some gin.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to
Thanks,
get
Tyler.
the juices flowing. Shall I make you one? And by make, it'll just be gin and ice.
Yeah. And we have some water.
Oh, okay.
Red Bull. Yeah.
I mean, I like martinis, and I guess this is kind of the closest I can have. It's just straight gin and ice.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that.
I remember one of my friends, he loved gin and hot water.
Gin and hot water?
Yeah.
Okay,
It is a thing, man.
that sounds like more like a medicine or something, you know?
Yeah. I was like, when he handed me a glass, I'm like, okay, gin not bad with water, right? But then when I drank it, it's like warm. Then I'm like, whoa, I don't know how to react, man. Yeah.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Damn.
Maybe let me put this down here. One of my favorites to go with gin is salmon sashimi. So we don't need to eat all of this, but I figured like if we go for a while, you know, there's plenty.
Yeah, and then on the floor is like some family platter or something.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Well, okay, there's so much stuff to take out. I'll pack with ice when we do delivery, make sure that, you know, the temperature stays safe, and we can use it for drinks.
Holy shit, this
Sushi
is like,
roll platter.
that is crazy. That is fucking insane.
It's the easiest to eat, right? Like at a party or something, you can just
If you look at this, right, this looks damn complicated to make, don't you think so?
Yeah, I mean, it takes our guys a little bit of time to hand roll all that stuff.
If somebody ordered this, everybody in the kitchen be like, oh shit!
Yeah, that's why the food will take a little while longer to come out. But whenever you want to eat this, we can pop that open.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy with like everything here, man. It's crazy.
Maybe we'll start with some sashimi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, asking for a friend, right? Is it possible, right, to go to Tanuki Raw, right, and order oyster without alcohol?
Yes, it is possible. We have mocktails. You know? Yeah,
mocktails.
The non-alcoholic cocktails. So not just
right.
like a Coke or something, but something a little bit more crafted and complex on the non-alcoholic side.
Right.
And I think it's been important. We've been like adding a lot of that to our menus, both at Tanuki and Secret Mermaid, because it's definitely a massive trend, I suppose, right now, where people they don't drink as much. And there's a lot more folks on it. Yeah, even me, like, I go through waves of not drinking and then...
Yeah. Is it like, I don't know, New Year, New Me or something?
I guess that's part of it. I mean, I really think that the younger generation, they are a lot more into fitness and, you know, what do you call it? Like mental health.
Cleansing, nootropics.
Yeah, cleansing, right. Biohacking and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's really starting to have an effect on the bar industry, the alcohol industry, where you see a lot of people doing the no alcohol or the very low alcohol. Yeah. Especially low ABV cocktails, low ABV beers and stuff now. And so that's something that I think every restaurant or bar needs to adjust for. Meanwhile, we drink straight gin here.
Yeah, this is like warm-up set, you know, for later on what's to come. Holy shit. It's like sake actually more potent than gin.
No,
man?
No, sake is about the same as wine.
It's like a 10 to 20 kind of range.
Yeah.
Then gin is like 30 to 40, something like that, right?
Yeah, gin's gonna be around your 40 to 60, depending on if it's Navy strength.
I think they have this like, that's 8. Oh, this is actually quite high also.
What's that?
This is like their cocktail version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's for them to make cocktail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We don't have a guy making cocktails today, right?
Yeah. Damn, Tyler.
Yeah.
This episode of Revelry Podcast is brought to you by Revit, my preferred choice of anti-hangover gummies. These honey lemon flavored gummies are made with all natural ingredients to promote liver health and aids in the dissipation of Asian flush. Take 2 gummies before drinking and another 2 after for maximum effect so as to not be bogged down by hangovers the next day. So click the link in the description and use promo code RevelryFem to enjoy a limited time 15% off Revit gummies purchases. And now, back to the show.
Yeah. I'll put this and I'll pour some soy sauce into it if you want.
Yeah. So, what is the economics behind the oyster? Because oyster is like when you like for example, if you get soju in Korea, it's like dirt cheap. You get oyster in the Bay Area in US, it's like dirt cheap, right? But then everything comes to Singapore, it just becomes
so.
Yeah,
that's actually interesting. I don't think anyone's ever asked me this question, but this is one of the proudest things I have done as a restaurateur here in Singapore. And this might sound like bragging, and it might sound ridiculous, but I believe that we are responsible for lowering the prices of oysters in Singapore by a significant amount and making it something that everyone can enjoy.
Right.
Because, so when we opened Tanuki Raw, this was 2012, looking around at restaurants here, oysters were about, I don't know, $6 to $8 a piece or more. And they were usually at the higher end places. And so it wasn't something that I would really have regularly here. But in the US, I mean, I loved going to oyster bars, oyster happy hours, and they were everywhere. So because my family's still in the US, I go back every year, and love checking out the different spots in the different cities. And everyone had an oyster happy hour where they would do it at, $1 a piece. And so I thought, wow, okay, like Tanuki Raw is supposed to be a raw bar. I love oysters and martinis, oysters and wine, how do we make that happen? Why is it so expensive? And so I just found some oyster suppliers, looked at the cost, and was like, it's
a major markup.
Yeah, it's a massive markup on the pricing.
Oh damn.
So
do the other restaurant look at you like, hey, these people spoil market, man?
Well, I'm sure a lot did. But at the same time, again, not that many places were selling oysters.
That's true, man. And
when we saw that we could sell it, at the start we did it for $1, and then I think we moved it up to $2. And only after 11 years, we raised it to $3 because the inflation, finally, we couldn't hold that off.
Right.
But it was, it was pretty amazing. I think people were like, wow, okay, I can get pretty affordable oysters here.
Right.
And we have to tie it to a drink because we use it, it's a loss leader. Like we're selling it basically at cost price, right? So you're not making money on that oyster. But because you're tying it to the drink, you're getting people to order drinks, order other food, because most people aren't going to have just like a plate of oysters or something.
For most people that don't understand the term loss leader,
can
you explain it to them? It's something similar like the Costco putting the roast chicken at the back and the TVs at the front, right?
Yeah. You want something that draws people in. So the loss leader is, like for us, oysters, where we're selling it at a price that's super attractive. And
you might not make money.
Yeah, we might not make money. So the cost of it, we might be selling it for just a little bit higher than what we pay for it. But when you factor in your labor, the rent, and your kind of discounted bill that you're giving to someone, it's a loss leader. And so that loss leader, though, brings a lot of traffic in, especially at that 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. kind of slower spot. Yeah, the happy hour time when restaurants aren't doing really dinner service yet.
Right.
And that is attractive for folks. And so that people use loss leaders to, hook you in.
Right. So from there, oyster is definitely like the headliner for the restaurant. Would you say so?
For Tanuki Raw, oysters are definitely the headliner. I think there are 2 things that my restaurant group has built on as loss leaders, and they're both raw items. Raw oysters and salmon sashimi, which we should take a bite of here.
Let's dig in, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I remember when I was still in my
I was gonna
poly to uni army days, right?
Yeah.
And you guys will manage to suck us in with your Tuesday sashimi.
We have the Monday and Thursday salmon sashimi special,
Right,
which is
right.
the one that has gone crazy.
Yeah.
Right now it's 5 slices for $3.90. I think.
Damn, even cheaper than last time.
No. When we started in 2011, I think it was 5 slices for...
This episode of Revelry Podcast is brought to you by Ripple Hydration, the perfect isotonic recovery drink for active individuals or after a late night out partying and drinking. Unlike many of its competitors, Ripple Hydration is a sugar-free beverage, a healthier option. This in turn prevents an energy spike and crash situation. It comes in a variety of flavors, and my personal favorite is the lemon lime. Each one of the sachets can be mixed with up to 750 ml of water, and again, comparing with similar beverage brands in the market, it is the most value for money. So click the link in the description and get a limited time 15% off all Ripple Hydration beverage purchases. And now, back to the show.
5?
$2.50 or $3?
What? Okay.
No, yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
Again, it's really damn long ago. Oh my
very
god.
aggressive. I'm gonna do a loss
Holy
leader. We're
shit.
gonna make it a loss leader. You
my
don't get
God.
people in.
That is insane.
But yeah, I think that really helped Standing Sushi Bar, especially when we came up with it. It was 2011 and the Japanese tsunami had happened. And people just didn't want to eat. So we had to go kind of like psychotic with our promotions in order to get people in the door. Yeah.
Okay, what are we gonna have now?
Salmon belly sashimi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Healthy fat. Cheers.
Oh my god. Oh, I recently went to Japan, right?
Oh,
And I
okay.
realized that their salmon, right, is like super orange. As compared to like, let's just say if you take a look at this, right, for the camera. This is like more normal
Pinkish.
right?
Because we're using a Norwegian salmon.
Mm.
So salmon in Japan usually will be near Japan or probably from Canada. And I think they use a lot of salmon trout, which does have a little bit more orangey skin. And it's not as fatty. So some people like the less fat salmon. But Singapore, generally the taste, people like the fattier, buttery salmon from Norway. During that period when a volcano erupted in Iceland, we couldn't get salmon
Iceland
from
volcano?
Norway.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
because it blocked all the flights coming from that part of Europe. And so our salmon supply got disrupted. So we switched to Australian salmon, which is also a leaner salmon. It's actually, I think it's about the same price. But yeah, it was really interesting that people started complaining and they were like, oh, why is your salmon not as good as before and all that? And we realized it's because people like this buttery, fatty style salmon,
Right.
which I do too. Yeah, like that's my preference.
Yeah. I realized that the food industry and the music industry is very completely different. For the music, right, like for example, if you're a music producer, you are very individualistic, But when about the food, right, your customer complain, you change to what they like. But for music, it's like, we don't do that,
Yeah.
You're like, well, we're all right,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's an interesting one. Like, how much do you, in the food industry, how much do you stick to your guns about like, no, this is the food that I want to create and that I want to serve you, regardless if the majority don't like it or a lot of people don't like it, versus being like, okay, maybe I'm on the wrong track with this. And at the end of the day, people just want something different or they need me to make a few tweaks to it. And we had to do that with Standing Sushi Bar, not only a little bit on the food side, but the main thing was standing and eating.
Right.
Because when we opened, it was truly a standing only concept, which, I honestly had no idea that was going to be an issue for people here. I thought, okay, I had it in Japan and it was awesome. And when I see people eating pizza in New York, like at the casual places, they're standing, they're eating.
Espresso in Italy, also standing, right?
Espresso, yeah, all standing, right?
Yeah.
And so it sounds so stupid and naive now, but it didn't even dawn on me that would be an issue. Because I felt like, all right, it's in Raffles Place. People have been sitting at their desk all morning, and they're going to come in for a really fast lunch. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Like, just stand and eat. And maybe that's said as back then when I was a young person without the aches and pains or whatever. So I'm just like, yeah, why wouldn't you be able to just stand and eat? Why would you need a table? Why would you need to sit?
But is it because it is associated to the cost? Like it is more expensive and people want to like savor.
Yeah, so I think that is a big part of it, that if they are paying for it, they want comfort, they want full service.
Yeah.
At least back then. I think now people are a little bit more open to the idea of, even if they're paying a lot, that they get kind of not exactly rough and tumble experience, but they get it doesn't have to be such a posh experience. But yeah, the one that really threw me at the beginning was this cultural issue when people, especially some Chinese folks, they were like, oh, we hear your food's really good, but if you stand and eat, it's a sign that you're poor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah. And it was just like, a lot of the bankers that were in the Raffles Place area. And I was like, I don't really know how to respond to that one. I had no idea. I mean, essentially,
My grandmother will be telling me that if you stand up and eat, right, you're like some indigestion or something like that. And then, because the chair is like supposed to like block your butt, right, from all the food escaping. That was like way back then, man. So it's like, I think, in just the Chinese language alone, there's like a billion different dialects, right? Everybody have their own superstition and then everything just adds up, Insane. So I just like went through your like repertoire, right? Like, dude, the amount of businesses you own, right, is like, how is it even possible? Because just now, right, when you first mentioned, just like maybe like 5 minutes ago, you were saying that, okay, how do you make a decision, right? That it's like, okay, stick to your gun or listen to what other people say. There are at so many moments, right, where I'm at this juncture in this particular business that I'm doing, right, that I'm facing this problem. And for you, like, I don't know, you're like 10 businesses or what, you make it look easy, So how do you like overcome that?
I think...
Or you're like, wing it?
That's kind of...
Really?
I mean, I think there's a little bit of... Okay, I think at our peak we had 14 or 15 outlets and I don't know, maybe like
that's
8
just
different
standing
brands.
sushi?
No, they were spread out over a few different brands. We had Sumo Bar Happy, The World is Flat, Secret Mermaid, Tanuki Raw, Salmon Samurai, Standing Sushi Bar. Black Dot Sweet Provisions. We like ventured into desserts for a while, and a few branches of some of these, but. The short answer of it was, especially in our wildly, and by our, I should say me, because it was my wildly aggressive expansion phase. And sometimes people really fall in love with the idea of creating brands, creating a new concept.
But maintaining...
Yeah, like, if I look at things that I should have done differently, business-wise, way before, and what we're looking to do now, is when Tanuki Raw really exploded around late 2014, 2015, I should have just focused on that.
Oh, double down.
Expanded, and brought it overseas as fast as possible. But, back then I didn't really realize, one, how successful that restaurant was, and two, I was, I don't know if distracted is the right word, but it's like, okay, I've created this concept. It's going well. But oh, look, wow, I think this concept would work now. Oh, this location that I kind of want. Oh, we need to come up with a new concept for that. Whoa, and the fun about just designing logos for that. What kind of music would go with it? Where's the food? Oh, it's just a chance to be super creative. And so I kept launching a few new concepts, but that was not business-wise, not the best thing to do. I think in terms of life fulfillment, you can say, yeah, that was great. In terms of scratching a creative itch, that was great. In terms of feeling cool, how some of the concepts work, yeah, that was great too. But
not great for early retirement.
Yeah, not great for early retirement at all. And it probably creates, a lot of stress down the line. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel that, right, this is like your secret sauce, I guess the very reason why you became successful was also like one of the challenges that you face, right? It's like, I think it's curiosity. I don't think it's like, I don't think it's like lack of judgment. Because if you lack of judgment, right, your business would have already failed already, in my opinion, right? You are try, wing it, fuck around, and then you found out, and most people don't find out. Yeah. That is insane. So, okay, wow, dude, I got like so many questions because when you take the escalator up to Tanuki Road, right, you're just beside Genki Sushi, god damn it.
Yeah. Hey, sadly, Genki Sushi closed down.
Oh, the one that's beside the Tanuki Road?
Yeah, the one that's beside us
damn.
3 months ago.
What?
Yeah, I was kind of sad about that because like they had been next to us for so long, and we were the only two things that drew stuff onto the fourth floor. I feel.
Yeah.
Because so many of the other outlets are all closed around us.
Yeah.
And it was very scary when Genki Sushi closed because this past year in F&B has been really rough. Or since 2023 onward, I would say Singapore F&B has gone a little bit crazy, dealing with the challenges of inflation, people traveling all the time, the Singapore dollar being so strong that the Southeast Asian tourists don't come here as much anymore. So like for us, a big part of our business was Indonesian tourists especially. I don't know how, but I'm very thankful. Somehow Tanuki became like this place that if you're, 25 to like 40 from Jakarta, if you come to Singapore, you would go to Tanuki Raw. So I'd go on Instagram and be like, wow, these people are talking about us in Bahasa. I hope they're saying something good, right? But it was like, okay, great. That was a significant part of our traffic. But like this past year and a half, there's just a lot less because Singapore's so expensive now. And even the folks that live here, right, like probably don't go out as much.
So in reality, right, when Genki closed, actually it meant that it's worse for you guys as compared to having them as a competition at the side.
Yeah, I think with Genki there it was good because it brought ultimately more foot traffic up to the fourth floor. And I think we're at different price points and we're ultimately offering different food. Genki is very much sushi focused versus Tanuki, which is a little bit more rice bowl and bar and modern Japanese focus. Genki is very family friendly and like crazy affordable, great variety, Like I love bringing my kids to Genki.
Yeah.
So it was good for discoverability though. When people go to Genki, they'll be like, oh, I've heard about Tanuki Raw. Oh, this is where it is. Great. Or maybe they'll want to come at another time to Tanuki. Plus, they had just been there for so long that it was familiarity. We knew, the manager over there, and we can see their kind of promotions. We can see how they're doing. They ask us how we're doing. And it's like, okay, we're both here at Orchard Central, which is kind of a weird layout shopping mall. But yay, we're both like, surviving, doing well kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they're gone.
What the hell?
So I actually felt quite a little bit sad, I guess, when they left. Because it made me worry about how that mall is gonna be. What's happening.
Right. You said that you go to Genki, right, with your kids. Do you have the Genki membership?
My wife does. Yeah. Because we were living near United Square for a few years. We just moved away from there.
Yeah.
But they have a Genki in the basement level.
Yeah, man.
And so she's like, hey, if I get this membership, I think we get a faster queue placement.
Birthday discount.
Yeah. But then it turned out that the queue is still long and the membership like expired already. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But membership programs are something that I've been trying to study. Like we started ours about a year and a half ago. And I was hoping it would be this magic bullet. Like I made it super easy to like redeem free things, kind of like a lost leader in a way.
Yeah, right.
I'm good at just giving shit away for free. I gotta say, like, because on my experience, it works.
Yeah.
But I think I must have just been doing a bad job of promoting or advertising it or something because it's just kind of staying stagnant. So I'm looking around at like what is an interesting loyalty program. I do think overall though that people don't have loyalty to restaurants in Singapore.
I think people don't even have loyalty to their own jobs, man.
Well, yeah. It's interesting to think about it from an even bigger level. Like
jump 10% pay increase, jump 10% pay increase.
Well,
Yeah.
Mm.
Which is why now employees should reward loyalty, right? In a way. Is it within profit margin?
Yeah. No, hey, I mean, I think this is where, if I'm gonna say one thing that we have been successful at is having a team that has been with me for many years. Like there's still a lot of our managers that have been with us since 2009, 2010. Probably the average full-time employee has been with us for at least 5 or 6 years.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm, I feel like kind of proud about that, I guess. Happy about that.
Yeah, dude, today's the climate is crazy. It's damn good. More than 2 years is like, whoa.
Yeah, right? Like,
damn.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm always curious about that because when I started the restaurants, I used to have that full-time corporate job, but I left it in 2012 before all these things kind of changed. And,
right.
And because I had worked at the company for 14 years, like,
whoa,
yeah. I'm
dude,
also
how
a loyal
old
guy.
are you?
I'm old.
You know, when I look at your WhatsApp photo, right, I thought we are like quite close. Like maybe like oldest, maybe like Tyler's age or something.
Oh yeah, all right. So I'm close to Tyler's age. How
no,
old
it's
are you?
like from me to Tyler. I'm 35 next year, and Tyler is like 40.
Oh man,
or
holy
41
smokes, dude! I'm 14 years older than you.
Oh, what
48,
the freak,
right?
dude!
Yeah.
That is freaking insane. Yeah, dude, all the DJs out there, right? You need to learn his skincare routine, man. I don't understand how is this possible.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. What the hell? You're almost like quarter, like what, half a century old. That's crazy. So you must have been doing a lot of stuff, and you said that you were doing a corporate job for 14 years, right? What was the job that managed to like retain your loyalty for so long?
I mean, I've always loved computers and tech stuff, and being at the age I am when I was growing up as a kid, it was the beginning of it was before internet. It was like bulletin board services, Commodore 64 using a modem, and when video games were also a little bit more freewheeling. So I really got into video games, and trying to get them to work on my computer meant I had to learn a lot more about computers. And then in school, in college, I just started studying it because I liked it. I was good at it. I had originally started studying tourism studies because I thought, I grew up in Florida. I would, love to work for Disney World.
Right.
I always thought about running a hotel or something. But then I went to a career fair when I was, it was after it was around my freshman year in college. And I talked to these guys from a hotel. And I was like, yeah, I'm studying tourism studies. And they were like, what the hell is that? What kind of bullshit is that, right? Like, go study something useful. Go study accounting, and then you can come work for the hotel. I was like, oh. Yeah, and maybe in hindsight, tourism studies was like the study of demographics of people who travel, like day trippers, far trippers kind of thing. And maybe, yeah, like that might not have been such a concrete kind of job.
Right.
But yeah, then my school at the time was offering you can get your master's and your bachelor's at the same time, or like an accelerated rate,
right,
in information systems, computers. I was like, okay, well that sounds kind of good, and I do, love computers.
So it's like computer
I started
science.
studying that. It was not computer science, information systems development. So more like databases, networks, light programming. Computer science would be more hardcore programming, I would say.
OR gate, AND gate, NOR gate kind of stuff.
I don't remember. I think back then though, it was like Novell networks, and it was shit, man.
Do you need to use like programming languages or?
Yeah. Like we still learn C, C++,
right.
The basic Turbo Pascal. Wait, what was it? Token ring networks, I think, were popular back then.
Okay, I've heard of it, but I only got as deep as C++ only in my degree.
Oh.
Yeah. Engineer turned broke musician.
No. Hey,
yeah, man.
Computer guy
like,
turned broke restaurateur kind of
giving
thing.
out free stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was like supposedly, I think when you do that
Hey, do
back
you want
then,
that
right?
last salmon belly sashimi or?
You can have it. Then we
Okay,
can start the
okay.
next one already.
Yeah, or we can open the sushi, the maki.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You decide. We can.
I didn't
we can
know
do
how much
both, man.
salmon sashimi you might want. Whoa.
I can go infinite, man. I
Try.
once ordered 100 in standing sushi.
Oh.
So thank you so much.
Hey, do we have
Wait, let me
napkins?
go
Oh wait,
and
I
find
got a
it.
napkin.
Yeah, we definitely have. Yep. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, we can just get there.
But yeah, so like having a day job and then balancing the business,
Mhm.
because I think you also started Liberty Spirits.
Yes, Liberty
that-
Spirits. As I pour myself some craft gin from Tangling Gin, I'll top you up a little bit. I'm gonna try your friend's way, not with hot water, but with no ice. Just
That
gin.
is insane. I wouldn't do it, man. But yeah, you're
Yeah,
free
yeah.
to experiment.
Ah,
Yeah,
actually, speaking of Liberty Spirits,
yeah.
I remember. So Liberty Spirits is, it's a company me and Tyler started to bring in craft American spirits from small distilleries in the U.S. And I remember being excited about how craft beer was taking over, and these cocktail bars had been, opening up 28 Hong Kong Street, Jigger and Pony, and I think that people, because of the rise of craft beer, I figured it would be natural that people would want to try out these interesting spirits from these small guys.
Yeah.
And I think it was 2014, and I was opening a spot in Raffles Place that was called Shinkansen, and at
Ooh.
night it would be the Secret Mermaid.
Ooh.
So I was thinking, okay, we need to make this bar a little bit. How do you make a bar stand out? How do you make any restaurant stand out? You're going to offer something different than others, right?
Right.
And I was thinking, okay, it'll be focused on American craft spirits. But then as you're talking about that, I was like, well, we got to bring in spirits just for this one small bar. Maybe we should distribute it. Yeah, like we should bring in a lot and sell to these other bars. And that was probably one of the reckless ideas and kind of wild ideas, but very eye-opening ones. And I mentioned this especially about pouring the room temperature gin because
Right.
it's funny. This was the first time I actually had to kind of sell myself to a supplier. I had to convince people to sell to us.
Why? When you do it with sushi, no?
Yeah. But I think selling sushi to a consumer is different
No.
versus I'm trying to sell you, like,
Or
please
B2B.
allow me to buy your alcohol. But a lot of these small distilleries,
Oh.
they're like, hey, we have very limited volume, and a lot of them have never exported anything out of the US before. And a lot of them, I hate to say, but it was also really amusing, being American, but being Chinese. A lot of them were like, hey, what, Singapore? I don't think we want to do business with China. And I'm like, we're not. Like the stereotypical thing. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, choose their customers, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I had to convince them that no, we're legitimately looking to import your spirits. We are, honorable guys. We do this. So I flew to New York, and I just I had a list of these distilleries that we wanted to work with. I just started calling them, and again, I had never done anything like this before, so I didn't know what to do. Like, do I just say hey, I just want to buy your stuff, kind of thing? And this one guy, he's from Green Hook Ginsmiths, so Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I land, and it's like, shit, man, I don't know, 9:30 in the morning or something, so I'm jet lagged. And I call thinking that a business would answer, but I guess they're small enough that the guy just answers, and I'm like, hey, from Singapore, I'd emailed you, and here in town, I want to buy your gin. He's like, oh yeah, all right, meet me at this bar, 2:00. I'm like, all right. So I go and meet him. He brings in his a suitcase full of gin bottles.
What?
And he's like, have you tried it before? I'm like, no, I've never tried it before. only seen the pictures of the bottle, read about it, read your story.
Yeah.
It really sounds interesting.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, here, drink this. And I'm like, oh, okay, room temperature gin is a bit aggressive, man, but all right. And I did.
So, Liberty Spirits, is it still kind of in motion, or is like you guys like pause it for now?
It's kind of in maintenance mode, I would say. I think there were a lot of learnings from Liberty Spirits.
Right.
So right now, there's existing customers that if we still have stock of what they ordered, that they, they'll still order and we can deliver it to them.
Right.
But I think it was a very different business than the restaurant business that I was very involved in. So both me and Tyler at that time had no experience in running an import and distribution business.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, what I've learned is that as romantic as an industry as craft spirits might sound like, if you're importing, distributing, man, the way you're going to make money in it, the only way to make money in it is you're actually focused on logistics, on how much does it really cost you to get that bottle from America to Singapore.
Right.
And you got to get it here super cheap, and without having that expertise of navigating how do you get that bottle from, let's say, the middle of America to the coast of America to Singapore into a bonded warehouse, from that bonded warehouse to your landed warehouse, and then from that landed warehouse to the bar, like there's just costs that add up like crazy. And when you're trying to compete with, the big boys like Bacardi, Diageo, it's almost impossible.
Right. I have a friend. Her name is Corinne. I don't know.
Oh, I know Corinne. Yeah.
She's like,
she worked with Zook as well, but she's like
the alcohol goddess,
oh,
basically.
Yeah.
And then
Did she worked for Diageo for a while?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically,
she had a cocktail bar a long time ago. In fact,
another
another way to tie us all together, Corinne owned the cocktail bar that me and Tyler met at. And it was in Little India, right? God, what was it called? I don't know. I remember being like a kind of like a concrete industrial look. She owned it with this other lady named Karen, because I would always get them mixed up, Karen and Corinne. But yeah, this must have been like 2011 or something.
Yeah. Basically, she's saying that, right, to like, how does it disrupt this kind of market, right? It's like trying to start your own airline. Right? It's like freaking hard,
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you have like, I don't know, infinite money.
Yeah. So
yeah. Because like the rich get richer, right? So to tackle this, I think you need a certain level of wealth.
Yeah.
Not good for starting.
Yeah, and I mean, you see it right now. A lot of the rich folks here in Singapore, because they're all into wine and stuff, and it's easy to import. So they'll just be like, oh, I can open a wine import and distribution business because, I know my friends like the wine, I like the wine, I'll just open that, But now you end up with so many different wine distribution things, nobody's making any money, but it's like a nice vanity project, I suppose, but you're not going to be able to compete with the big boys. So on the spirits distribution side, you're competing with the big guys who have marketing budgets, and they're able to win over the bartenders' hearts and minds, right? Of course, you gotta educate the bartender on why, let's say, why Tangling Gin is a special product,
Right.
Oh, okay, the romantic side, it's distilled right here in Singapore, first one to do that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, that bartender has to also sell it to the customer. And you need to build affinity with that bartender to want to help support you.
Yeah. So much emotional. Because if he doesn't believe it, right, and he serve it, right, the customer can feel it.
Yeah. And so whether it's something as small as the distributor providing free samples that you can give out to customers, or the building the bonds of hey, we're gonna have this Saturday, we take out a group of bartenders to go water skiing, or go to a party.
Wow, damn.
Yeah, and
everything is marketing.
Again, it's all about building community. So actually, maybe that's
even
the
in the
thing.
gin and spirits world.
Oh yeah,
shit.
dude, it's all about community. And I say it
right?
accepting. I think it's a good thing. Yeah. But community is such a overused, abused word these days that I do laugh when I hear it. But I get it. I mean, I get it. Like, you do need to build a community.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Would you say like community in nowadays term is more accurately put as sales funnel?
That is actually a very accurate way. Sales funnel, lead generator.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a cynical way to look at it.
Yeah, man, dude, I'm like so sick and tired of this really. Like, but end of the day, right? I think really is no choice, right? Like, I just look at this in a perspective of like I'm a DJ, you know. I could have been doing my cushy engineering job, but I chose this like hard life, right? So this is my reality now. You know, I'm living this like music DJ dream journey world, right? That I've created for myself. And I would say the more authentic version of community now is just friend groups. That's it, you know, right? Because I feel like community has really been like too transactional in a way. Yeah. And if everybody's saying support local, right? But I think it's too ambitious. If you can support your friend, that's enough. Because most people find it hard to even support their friends. Most people just want to go to like the big brands, you know. Yeah.
You know, that actually is quite interesting. I mean, when I was younger, the organic communities, when people get together, like whether it's over a video game they enjoyed playing or you know, they're interested in movies or book club even in a way.
Yeah.
I think that happened. But these days, I feel like a lot of people's inclination is, hey, I've created this community. There's so many members. How do I monetize it? Right? They're just like, how do I monetize? How do I monetize? And I get it. Everyone also now has, you know, a side hustle, you know, a side gig and stuff. And that is both good and bad, I suppose. Like, yeah, even I start thinking about, should I have a side hustle or should I have a, you know?
But do you still build community with like Tanuki Raw, with selling sushi?
I think that is something we have been bad at. I think I've never actively tried to build, actually, I don't even know what that means, you know, to build a community for a restaurant. But, okay, wait, at the same time, I don't know what it means, but I can say the restaurant that does it the best out here. And I think that's Burnt Ends.
Oh,
they have a community. I've never gone to eat there. I've only had drinks there. But when I see how fiercely people advocate for them or defend them online, like if anyone ever posts like, hey, I had some kind of bad experience at
Burnt Ends is burned, man.
Yeah, dude, like people like pile up and be like, you just don't understand what food is. You don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, damn, how did they like create this group of people that will immediately come and protect you, right?
All these
like,
actors.
Yeah, but it's like, wow, okay. So I don't know how to do that necessarily for a restaurant. Maybe it would be like get more engaged on a local level, face-to-face things. I don't know.
Do you think it could be the fact that people like us, we are too logical and then we don't know how to like emotionally hook someone in or something like that?
Yeah, because I don't want to be...
Sorry to interrupt you, but I think, right, you said that you don't really do community stuff with your restaurant, right? But I think for your restaurant, right, why it's successful is because you just straight up give them value. Like, here's some free shit,
I mean,
in exchange for other good shit.
I'm like a direct blunt, like
this is good value. Yeah. The end.
And I mean, I get really excited when someone talks to me about the restaurant. I will chat with them, or if I'm drinking at one of our bars, I talk to this person. It's awesome. We will definitely connect, kind of thing. But yeah, like I don't know how to go about it in the soft, interesting branding way, right? I'm just like
romantic.
Yeah, like our food quality, okay. Top notch. No, it's great. It's great. But everyone says their food quality is great, right? Yeah. Like you hear, no restaurant's gonna be like, hey, I decided to use the mediocre ingredients today, you know? Or like, this shit was gonna spoil, so we're selling it today at a half off kind of thing. No, that's not what we do. So it's just more like, look, people like a good deal, right? Like, people like promotions, and it speaks to me.
Yes.
And it's direct. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty direct kind of guy. I don't know if that personality is coming through.
Perfect for podcast.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait
But-
till I drink more.
Yeah. We can switch to sake anytime, man. But yeah, I really understand that point of view. But then the thing is, right, when it comes a time where you want to scale to like a different market, you don't just want to do mass market. You have like a restaurant for mass market. You have a restaurant for like more expensive items, which is like maybe like burnt ends kind of concept. So the marketing and the way you PR the customer is totally different already.
Yeah.
So probably you don't need to have a lot of good customers. You need one diehard, something like that.
Right. My guess at the high-end restaurants, they are in a way pitching a lifestyle.
In the social circle.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing or anything, right? But it's like, it is that idea of, hey, if I want to be the term that I've learned in the past few years, Henry, high earning, not rich yet. Also the name of my son. Yeah. It's called Henry.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, there's a Reddit topic called SG Henry, right? Like,
what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh my god. High earning, not rich yet. Yeah, it means they are still young,
they're still relatively
not burnt out
young,
from earning money. Like.
Yeah. But
oh damn, Henry.
and maybe it's not just restaurants, right? But like when people really start liking something, they want to feel like they truly identify with it. And maybe these days everything takes on a greater meaning than it really needs to. It's never like, oh, I just had a meal. I had an opportunity to connect with my friend over this incredibly curated session of food with beef that I can only dream of from like Kazakhstan or something. I don't know. All right, obviously the gin is hitting me. But yeah, everyone wants the moment to be special, which I get, especially after COVID. It's important. But sometimes food can just be good food. Like I just want a good meal. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I watched this YouTube channel called Alexander the Guest. I don't know if you know. This guy is basically a rich business guy, and then he started his own restaurant, and then it became 1 Michelin star. So it's like, okay, that's not good enough. Let's go and eat every single Michelin star in the world, and I'll make a YouTube channel out of it. So he's basically balling, Then the restaurant is like, like vanity project, but he want to make it 3 Michelin. So you want to learn from the best in the world. So it's like going around and and then a lot of times he will talk to the people in there, and then he just say that at the end of the day, right, nothing beats, right, the restaurant that all my friends love and I can just gather, no matter, because at the end of the day, you might, like for example, the Michelin guide people, right, they are all secret, right, and then they claim to just judge the food by the food itself, but he said that that's not possible because the surrounding, the atmosphere, right, will kind of like, infiltrate you through osmosis or something like that. You'll be affected by the vibes, the lighting, the music, and everything. You can't be not affected, right? So with all that in place, right, how can you still say that you are judging the food purely based on the food alone? And that's why he said that all this Michelin thing, right, is really is more of a business thing than an actual like satisfaction in life thing. Right. Would you say so? Yeah, and then also, like, I would say, a mass restaurant versus like burnt ends, right? I think, right, if you look at the clubbing world, right, it's actually more problematic because in a club it's both in one. You need to fill up like 1,000 pax dance floor. And then you still need to fill up your VIP. So how do you like market 2 different ways, And
a lot of that people, I am assuming, that are going to that 1,000 mass market side, they're like, oh, because the VIPs, this VIP is going here. Like, look how cool that is, in a way.
Yeah. So that's why when you said burn ends, right, I completely agree. But the thing is, like, I don't understand how we can like implement it in our own business, because it's like it's a very good strategy, right? But it might not be the right one for, let's just say, a mass market restaurant versus a more high ses.
So you know, you mentioned way earlier about we talked about like if a restaurant should stick to their guns versus changing to customer demand. And so I think Burnt Ends is, I could be wrong about this. I mean, I don't know actually that much about them, but I feel like that guy, Dave Pint, the chef, has been very good about sticking to his guns. And in a way that's gotten him a lot of respect and the folks that are like, hey, you know, you don't like it, you just don't understand it because the chef's trying to do this. But, so, yeah. I parallel this with the interesting, God, I don't know how many years ago. Have you been to Nobuya?
No, I haven't, but I've been a fan. I watched like so many videos on it.
So Nobuya is a little izakaya at Fortune Center. I don't know when it opened. Maybe around 2017.
Oh shit, it's not Nobu.
No, not Nobu.
Oh, dude, I was like thinking Nobu.
Nobu very different. Yeah. Very different. Yeah. No, Nobuya is a little izakaya open, again, maybe 2017,
Singapore.
2016. Singapore. Fortune Center, ground floor. Japanese guy behind it. He, I think, was the first one to require everybody to have alcohol. So if you go to that restaurant, you have to order a beer or a sake. Everyone at the table must drink. And I found that super interesting because a lot of people don't want to drink, or they, you know, some people will be like, I'm pregnant, I can't drink, but I want to eat your food. He'd be like, get the fuck out.
What?
And they'd even be like, so what I really found interesting though was it was not about, let's say, the money from selling the drink. It was about the idea of creating the environment for izakaya.
Right.
So, because, you know, someone might be like, I don't drink, he will drink too. He will drink on my behalf. He'd be like, no, get the fuck out, kind of thing, yeah.
Because it's supposed to be like, you know, crowded,
everyone's
happening.
supposed to be drinking happy, right? And so sometimes when I'm feeling depressed, I go and read the Google reviews of Nobuya because I always laugh. Because people are just like, 1 star, this guy tried to make me drink and I didn't want to. What a jerk, you know? Like, it's just great. It's just so much humor on reading the Google reviews.
What the hell?
So he was the first one that really stuck to this idea of you gotta drink when you're at this restaurant. Yeah. And that has become a big thing for a lot of the Japanese restaurants here. I think especially the small guys at Orchard Plaza, Cuppage Plaza. There's even one that I went to a few times this year, which it wasn't just like, you gotta drink, but you gotta drink at a certain rate of speed.
What the hell?
He was
in Singapore?
Yeah. God, what's it called? Orchard Midpoint? It was like a really grotty part of Orchard, and it's in the basement, small. But the chef was from one of the super high-end Japanese restaurants, I think formerly at Shangri-La. Right. And so he makes like creative food, but you're only allowed to order the food if you're drinking. And if you're not drinking at a certain rate, you don't get to order anymore, kind of thing.
But I mean, I guess it comes back to like fighting with the big guys, right? You know, if you're small, you have to be more creative and crazier. So you kind of attract the attention on social media. And also maybe the negative Google reviews, right, is actually good. Because right now, look at what all the TikTokers are doing, man.
Yeah,
bad publicity is still publicity.
Yeah.
That's why.
The rage bait guys, you mean? Or like...
the what?
Rage bait TikTokers or just bad publicity TikTokers?
I guess they call, right now, the Gen Z call it engagement farming.
Oh.
God damn.
Yeah. That is my issue with Threads right now. Are you on Threads?
I heard that Threads, the number of users like halved, you know. Like a lot of people left to go to like X or Blue Sky or something. Yeah. So what's happening? Maybe people sick of meta apps because there's so many, right? WhatsApp, Facebook,
wait.
Instagram.
I want to self-brag again about, because you mentioned X, Twitter. We were the first restaurant on Twitter way back in, again, 2009 or something.
Standing Sushi.
Standing Sushi Bar. It's on Twitter when they first launched. To the point we got referenced in the book like Twitter for Dummies kind of thing. And the business development guy, like one of the head guys at Twitter back then, this guy named Tristan, reached out to me and was like, hey, can you tell me about why you're using it? What's your experience? I was like, yeah, okay. So I always thought that was kind of fun and cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right
so
now-
Twitter, not Tanuki. I've tried to do some stuff on Twitter now, but it's
very
more
US,
like,
right?
yeah, Singapore doesn't seem so active. There's like a young crowd out here that's on it, and they're really amusing. They're really emotional. I don't know how much is real emotion versus like engagement farming.
Yeah.
But like I feel you got to be a bit off the wall on Twitter
Yeah.
out here, on X, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So I like to look at it and occasionally post stupid things about the restaurant.
So you get yourself viral
Yeah.
like Wendy's.
Yeah. Can I give a plug? Follow Tanuki Raw on Twitter. It is deranged. It's after I drink like 10 drinks, I'm like, I'm gonna go on Twitter and post something about the restaurant. Yeah.
Give negative customer review.
Yeah. Free burger if you give us a 1 star.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the social media platforms, Twitter,
But Threads,
TikTok,
do you find it
Threads.
helpful?
Threads. I was interested at the start. I still look a bit, but it really has become super engagement farming, right? I don't know if it's the algorithm I'm on or algorithm that's
No, for me,
targeting
same. People just throwing out nonsense.
Yeah, they're like, let me tell you a story from 2015. That's funny. I'm like, why the fuck do I want to hear a story about 2015, man?
After a while,
Like,
you can see
great.
through it, right?
Yeah. Like you just want likes and reactions. And,
Yeah.
Or the people that are like, was this movie any good? What was your favorite movie from the year? I'm like, come on, man. Like, give me something, I don't know.
Like
Like
informative.
something I can engage on that is not just this base level nonsense.
But I'm facing this same problem, right? Is during COVID, right?
Yeah.
I was like, not okay. I used to be resident at Zoop Singapore, and then I'm like constantly at a club, but because we are not working as many days, our pay got like half, and then we'll half the working days, something like that. So I got more time. So I started watching masterclass, and then I got hooked onto podcasts, right? And then I realized that, could it be because I'm also getting older that I have like better attention span and I'm seeking more knowledge rather than consuming like junk? And then it begs the question, shit, isn't clubbing for the youths? I need to learn how to...
Oh, that's an interesting one,
Yeah.
especially as a resident DJ.
I'm an old person now, so I need to market to the younger person. Then if I try to put what I like, right, they might not like it.
Hey, you actually have just summarized my biggest issue right now for the restaurants.
Uh,
We've been around since 2009, 2012 for
Yeah.
Tanuki. The generation that loved us has gotten older. Yeah, and now we got that next generation. I don't know what they like. I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, like it's trying to adapt to that.
What's the team looking like?
Hmm?
What's the team looking like? Is it like a huge team or a lean team or
My team? What do you mean?
like you? I don't know. Do you have like marketing, Gen Z people or something?
No. And so maybe that's one of the issues is that because everyone that's been with us has been with us for so many years is they're on the older side. So we're not really talking to this Gen Z crowd. I mean, I don't want to necessarily pigeonhole it as like it's Gen Z that we need to reach out to, but it kind of is Gen Z that we
It
need
is
to
Gen
reach
Z,
out
right?
to.
Because Gen Alpha too young already. Gen
Yeah,
Alpha
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
need 3 more years, then can drink alcohol,
Yeah, right? But yeah, it's interesting to be around long enough that you see your audience grow up and change, change tastes,
So
and how to attract that next gen.
some clubs I saw, right, is that maybe they are doing their business so good until everybody want to stick with them. The employees want to stick with them.
Okay.
So that means the employees also getting older, right? That means they are getting better at their job, but they're also getting more out of touch with the youth. So stuff that requires the youth to do, they outsource it. Like copywriting, marketing, and PR. So that one, they have like a separate agency handling it. Then their core team is like the OGs, know the brand from day one type people. That is the strategy now.
That makes
That's the strategy
sense.
now.
I can see that making sense.
Yeah. It's like more and more people are adopting that. Yeah, right. So I don't know, maybe.
Where do you find it? Are you find yourself early millennial or late Gen Z?
No, I am 1990, so I'm like millennial as fuck.
Oh, you're millennial.
I'm millennial. Right in the
yeah.
center.
Yeah.
So, but then the thing is like I have a lot of like very young friends. I exist in a space, right, where I have like older friends and like very young friends, and I'm also in the center where I am like engaged with a lot of underground music activity. But I'm the resident of Zouk, Singapore, where I'm playing mainstream shit all day, you know? So I'm like literally in this like cross junction, right? Which is why I feel a lot of like interest talking to people from different walks of life, because it's like, why in music, right? Why is the underground people so fascinated with their own world? And then like when Taylor Swift comes up with something, everybody be like, boo, that sucks. But then the rest of the world be like, oh my God, Taylor Swift is amazing, you know?
Yeah. What is your opinion on that? Wait, where's the sake? Let's go to sake. Oh, it's over there in that bag. Should I get it?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
I'm gonna put the salmon sashimi here if you want it. I'll put this
Oh my
on
God.
the ground.
The last time I had sake, right, it's actually with, God damn.
I didn't have dinner. That's why I want to eat this sushi.
Yeah, two things at once, man. Yeah, but the last time I had it was with Richie Horton. I don't know how much of a EDM person you are.
I am not.
Not really. Are
I'm
you
not
a festival
educated
going?
Okay, that I can tell you. I'm absolutely not a festival person. I'm not an outdoors. I'm not a crowd person. So
Damn.
Festival.
Yep.
Yeah, I am proud to say that I went to Tibetan Music Freedom Festival way back in like 1998 or something. But that would be and Bumbershoot in Seattle.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, that would be the end of my festival day.
Yeah, wow, this is a huge one. We need to make more space. Hell yeah. Oh my God. This is freaking insane.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, sorry, I let camera eat first.
No. We don't need to present. Okay.
God damn, this
But
is
yes, if we're gonna
this is
do
serious,
it, if I can do a
he's
pitch.
serious, you know.
Look,
Oh
we
my God.
have a maki platter, sushi rolls, delicious. I'm gonna look at every camera that's
This
here.
one is like what, from Standing
Sushi Bar. Yeah.
Right.
Same day delivery available. So if you're having a house party and you forgot to order your food, bam, you message us. We will save you. And we got sake too. People don't know that you can drink at our spots, but only $68 to start with, the whole bottle. You'll have a good time.
Oh, that is like 3 to 4 times cheaper than clubs, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, everything's cheaper than clubs. Club economics, I've also been very curious about.
Yeah. Like, why you 3x everything? You know, maybe is it because the X are like very expensive?
Who should I pour with?
Okay, maybe we left two more new cups, right? Because we're still halfway through our gin.
So purity
Oh my
here,
God. Yeah. Well, this is actually this is my dream podcast. You know, this is like what, I don't know, podcast 92 or something.
92.
Yeah. So since like 40 something, right, I've been telling guests, you know what's the ideal scenario where we can just sit here, chill, and talk cock, right? And then as I'm ordering Grab, and then the Grab will come in, the Grab driver will literally walk in through the camera, and then we just eat like, you know, like there's no camera. That's perfect, man. That's crazy. Cheers. Yeah. Ooh. Oh shit, it's damn nice, yeah.
It is, right? It's quite gentle.
Yeah.
I'm sure I was supposed to remember some details about this, but I don't. But
you can find out on the website, you know.
It's on the lightly sweet side.
Yeah,
beautiful,
it is,
gentle, soft.
Yeah, because I know sake, they usually come in like super big, like this kind of bottle, but like 4 times, you know, it's like a cannon or something like that. Right, they serve it at the club, and then, you know, and it's like surprisingly sweet, unlike other alcohol.
How much of your drinking life is associated with clubs versus cocktail bars?
None. I have never been to cocktail bars. Yeah,
Wow.
I have never. Yes, I've never.
So this is interesting. We would have a hugely a big contrast on what we look at alcohol-wise.
Okay, if I'm like a real pure club kid, right, it'll be very different. But I only started drinking when I was 25. So like a little bit, I'm like drunk already, you know. So I'm like the chill drink kind, whereas the people that I'm witnessing in the clubs are like drinking to die.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm that level.
Sure.
So I'm in the club, but I drink like I'm in a cocktail bar. Then everybody like, what the hell, you sipping your shit, you know? Yeah. But what's the difference, you know? Cocktail bar.
No, I mean,
you just order one and just savor the whole night.
No, you order more, but it's interesting of the idea of sake only being in the big bottles are the 1.8 liter ones.
Yeah.
Like the big champagne magnums or something, kind of like that.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 liter, I remember.
So that's not common at the restaurants. This is the most common at the restaurant. I would be like, what are you talking about? People don't go that crazy at
That's
restaurants.
crazy, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's also interesting about clubs is that it taps into this idea where people want to...
Like a frivolous lifestyle.
Yeah. Not in a bad way, again, because there's going to be a lot of fun around it.
Yeah,
but
it's fun, man.
You know, I've been very curious about how people start... Is it the champagne train, the sparklers and all that? Is it a competition? Is it just they like the razzle dazzle? Like, let's make this moment special? What do you think it is? Like,
of course, there is some competition, right? But then I think alcohol is fun when you share it. So I think it's more okay. Let's just say I'm like certain days I'm putting myself in the perspective of these like ultra rich guys, right? Because I see them all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And they don't really drink much, you know. Most of the time we are like literally just talking, right? I don't even know that was like a podcast already. And we are just talking for 2 hours. And then right, as we look at everybody else like having fun and getting fucked up, right? It's them happy. I feel very, very good. Like, oh my god, everybody's having fun, you know? And they can help you have fun.
Huh. So that's interesting. Like, do you think they are like, I'm helping everyone have fun? Are they buying the drinks and just giving out kind of thing? Or like...
I think both.
Yeah.
Like the craziest example I saw is Crystal Champagne. One for like 900 something to 1,000 in the club. And this guy ordered like 150 or something. And then we need so many bottle girls until to the point, right, where we need to activate our accountant, our door beach, everybody need to carry the bottle to reach there. So it's like a big ass train circling the dance floor like one round. And then eventually throughout the night, you know, cannot really finish, right? Then he's like, okay, you know what? Still got 1 more hour before the club closes, right? Everybody get 1 bottle. So he just like comps the whole club. So everybody has 1 bottle. And then I wasn't even, okay, so you know Zouk is like the big space, right? And then there's like a smaller joint called Future. I was like DJing at Future, right? The comp bottle come until my side.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, shit.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, so I think it's like half. Yeah, but I think also because of the fact that Singapore is like drug-free culture, and electronic dance music stems from that kind of world, right?
Right, okay.
A very dark world. And the beats are usually very repetitive, you know. So a lot of times, people require substance to get into that state. But whereas Singaporeans, they take alcohol to like kind of forget their troubles. Because I think we are a very stressed out country.
We are, yeah. That is a downside of Singapore. I feel it's a very high stress.
That's why you see some people in the club, right? They drink like they want to die. Really, it's like...
Yeah, like erase my mind, erase everything kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm not really that level because like firstly I'm very cheap drunk, but I'm very happy with my life, you know. I didn't like sell my soul for money. I did what I love, even though it's not earning a lot of money, but I don't need to put myself through that kind of like drinking. Which is why I have a very healthy relationship with drinking.
Hey, that's
and
good.
Then Tyler came up with that LinkedIn post. It's like, hey, you know, why everybody's like quitting drinking? Drinking should be like a balance, right? You know, it's like there's a healthy. Why do you need to like tell the whole world I'm vegan, you know? Just like normal, just be normal, you know? Yeah. Oftentimes, I guess when you're suffering from like addiction, right? And then when you want to quit the addiction, then you be like polar opposite, like overcompensate, you know? Yeah, that's what I felt. Yeah.
How do you feel like when people are at the club? Do you think they are connecting with your music, or
correct?
You know, like how do you, if people are not there for the music, they're there for socializing.
99%.
Do you think you can reach them? Like you can, yeah. So,
a lot of my pop music friends they are, because like when you are like producing like guitarist live music, right, or violinist, you have been training like 20 years your whole life, so you really want people to like, oh my god, this is what I'm doing. You appreciate me, you know. But for clubbing was a little bit different. We are supposedly like a supporting character for your night. Your night is the highlight, you know, how you enjoy the night. And then we are like a complementing piece.
Right.
So for the DJs that try to put themselves in the center of attention, right, they will oftentimes be very disappointed. But if you are like, you think of it as an angle, like you're supporting the success of their night, right? Then you really see like sometimes there's a lot of this kind of like miracle moments. Like, because you always think like, people don't give a fuck about the music, right? But then the thing is when they get drunk to a certain point, right, they react, right, without that fear of judgment. Okay, very good example. When the club opened, right, the dance floor is empty. And it always takes a white guy to start the dance floor. All the Asian people just like...
It took a white guy to stand at a standing sushi bar. Just kick it off, I gotta say. But all right.
they don't care, It's like, I like to do it. I do it, that's it, I don't need your permission. I don't need anything. I just do it. Yeah, that's why I love it. Yeah, and then sometimes in the festive season, then it'll be like a group of Indian guys starting the dance floor. Yeah, but it's always not the Singaporean people. Singaporean is like too scared already. But then after a few drinks, they are more chill, right? Then they are just like enjoying the moment, right? And literally let the music take them on a journey. At that point of time, right, they don't really...
they're not worried so much about it. They're not thinking about it like...
The preconceived notion is removed already. They're just feeling it. And then as you guide them through the journey, that's the skill of the DJ, how you can make them from don't give a fuck and don't like, and then to eventually like, to eventually having a good night, to coming back. That's like... Yeah. And of course, a lot of help from the bartender, from the VIP staff. Everything has to add up, Yeah, it's like so many moving parts, which is why I'm thinking also restaurants should also have something like that, right? Yeah, to like milk out the satisfaction level, Yeah, but I think for mass marketing like McDonald's kind of stuff, they probably don't really need so many things, right? Yeah, and then when you started standing sushi and Tanuki raw, right? Why because it's both Japanese concept, right?
Yeah.
But it's like both also serve sashimi.
I think that's my. I don't know why.
Are you killing yourself? Like what was it called? Self-mutilation or something like that. What? No, there's a better way. Like
I don't get the connection.
Like fratricide. You start a competing business with your own business. Cannibalization. Yeah.
No. So okay. Specifically on opening Tanuki versus after standing sushi bar, that was a. I think I've been doing standing sushi bar for 3 years, and that's much more traditional, casual Japanese food. And I think at that point, 2012, you started hearing a lot more about the crazy ass things people were doing with food trucks and just bizarre food. And the cocktail bars were rising, drinking was rising back then. So Tanuki was a response to me feeling a little bit constrained by standing sushi bar, wanting to create just, hey man, what would a cheeseburger sushi taste like? Standing sushi bar, being traditional, you can never introduce something like that. But Tanuki, okay, we say it's American Japanese, you can start going a little more wild on it and trying to incorporate more of a bar aspect. So I think that didn't cannibalize. I don't think it cannibalized very much from standing sushi bar. In a way, you can view it as like if you want a little more nightlifey style, it would be Tanuki, like happy hour drink. You want more alcohol, you go Tanuki in a way. I do think though, we did have people at the start that expected Tanuki to be a traditional place, so they had a lot of complaints about our rice, our chirashi, we don't serve it with just sushi rice. It's kind of like our seasoned signature rice with all kind of sauces in it.
Right.
But the reason also why I did both of them was, man, even since young, I don't know, maybe around age 5 or age 6, my mom took me to have sushi. And I'm guessing she probably just gave me a California roll at the time, not cooked. But somehow I developed this fascination for raw food, like steak tartare. Dude, you put that on anywhere I go in the world, if there's steak tartare on the menu, I'm just gonna order it. It's great, right? Whatever the Koreans call it, yuke, or Japanese call it yuke, I don't know. There's different styles of steak tartare ultimately. But yeah, raw food, so raw fish, raw steak. Germany, you get the raw minced pork sandwiches. I forget what it's called, Methappen or something. Wow.
They do a lot of stuff with pork, Germany.
Yeah. And I guess their pork is clean enough that, they eat it raw. To the point where
That's
it's served
crazy.
at like a 7-Eleven. You can get a raw
What
minced
the
pork
fuck?
sandwich.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what the heck?
And it's so good,
Oh my
right?
I tried raw chicken in Japan before. The
Yeah,
chicken
yeah,
sashimi.
also so good.
Ah.
Yeah.
So is that
Tastes
like
clean.
But then
you
the thing
know?
is like when you think about shipping, from overseas, right? How do you like keep it fresh and all?
Well, so I think we're lucky in Singapore because there's so many Japanese restaurants here, and for so many years that the suppliers here are you've got a lot of suppliers that are air freighting this stuff in daily.
So it's not like extra trouble,
It's not
just
it's
another
not.
extra restaurant.
Yeah. So it's it's interesting when I go back to the US where even though it's so big and modern, dude, the Japanese food is nowhere near at a level that's as good as here in Singapore. We're lucky here. Here, Hong Kong, Taipei, I think you're getting the best Japanese food in the world outside of Japan. Yeah.
Is it because we're close to the source, that's why? Or is it because of the supply chain?
I think the supply chain, I think culturally the Japanese have, had a lot of impact here in these countries.
Right.
So people are, in a way, more used to or looking for that food. But yeah, when I go home to Orlando, Florida, or even Seattle, which has a lot of Japanese folks living there, it's just, they're high-end sushi things. You'd be like, Christ, man, what are we?
Singapore 7-Eleven level.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
You'd be
it's really
this
that bad?
is not good.
Oh my god, what the hell? Dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
I mean,
man.
I don't want to slam any local chains, so I won't say that, but I'd be like, come on, this is crazy. How is this acceptable? Huh? And in a way, I get it then, because that's why the US and a lot of places still want much more cooked sushi, I would say, versus the clean, traditional style.
Like nigiri kind of.
Yeah.
But when you first started this restaurant, right, do you have to research everything yourself?
Yeah.
Or you have a partner?
No, I researched everything.
So you're just one person?
Yeah. Wait.
I'm gonna go for this.
So, a long time ago, I did this show, Channel News Asia, and they had interns running around everywhere.
Right.
And I was like, wow, why are there so many interns? I had a few different business ideas here and there, but I realized I never acted on them because it was just I had a job already, and that trying to gather a lot of data just seemed like, it just fell by the wayside. And then later on, I'd hear someone else that did a similar idea. I'd be like, damn it, I should have acted on that. So I did the show, and I see all these interns. And there was this one lady, named Mylene. She was super good, super engaged. And I decided okay, I've got this new idea. Why don't I just hire this intern? Because back then, I don't know, they were being paid $300 a month or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, right?
I got paid 800, man, as an intern. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Hey, can you research what rental rates are like and supplier costs? Basically, is it feasible to do this business?
Apparently, she did a good job.
Yeah. And I think, and I think back then it would have been a hell of a lot harder.
Yeah.
That was before things like even Property Guru, rental prices are posted online. And in a weird way, back then, suppliers used to be very
gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Because no internet, so they cannot fact check their clients.
Yeah. And they'd be like, I don't want to sell to you until you have some a lease, show me this. You could not find information. So yeah, she did a really good job on that.
Damn.
Thank you, Mylene. I haven't seen you in many years, but I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Yeah. So she helped a lot on that initial research. We started, I had friends Japanese friends that had recommended a sushi chef from Japan who happened to have worked in Canada for a while. So he was going to be our first, my first
Head chef.
head chef. And I remember, I was young and idealistic. So I was like, yeah, you come live with me for a while. You don't have to pay for housing. So you get your salary, you save. I don't know. It was like anything. It's going to be a learning experience.
What happened? Like he stayed with you and then he worked at the restaurant.
Yeah, he worked at the restaurant, so we were together a lot.
all
the time.
That's like some relationship meltdowns. Yeah, for most people.
And I'm someone who really likes kind of
space.
Privacy and space. Yeah, he's a super nice guy. He was great. I think for both of us, right, it was a gamble on something we didn't really.
So
understand.
He came from Japan.
He came from Japan.
He quit his job. Come.
Yeah.
Damn. So that's like what, year 1, 2, 3 for Standing Sushi?
No, this was just year one.
Year 1.
So for him, it was a big learning. I'm trying to think about.
Let me pour you more sake because I'm
finishing my let's have a little more sake.
Crazy, man. I love it.
We do the traditional way. You pour for me, I pour for you. Then.
Oh my god, are we supposed to go this much?
Yeah, why not? It's the day before New Year's Eve, right?
Hey, let's have some of this, man, before I die tomorrow.
What is that?
This is like anti-hangover gummies.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's try this stuff.
Yeah, it's like a candy. Okay, so take 2 for you, take 2 for me. So we can survive tomorrow.
All right.
Tomorrow is like the day before. It's like New Year's Eve,
Is
right?
this
Tomorrow.
like a local one or like one
local,
of those,
local, support local, man.
Local, okay.
Yeah.
Revit.
Yeah.
I gotta drink it with the sake, all right.
but it's like gummy, so it's it's not like a pill.
Mm.
Yeah, you're just gonna pop 2 at once.
Hey, it tastes good. It tastes like gummy.
Yeah. It is gummy, right? Yeah, so what happened to the chef?
So I think the thing was that. Oh, this is gonna sound really terrible. Dude, Japanese chefs here obviously have expertise. They're good. But they can't communicate with the local market for concepts like what Standing Sushi Bar was originally, was a fast-paced lunch crowd at Raffles Place.
Wait, now it's Bras Basah, right?
Yeah, we're at Bras Basah and Marina One. He can't talk to most of the customers.
He cannot.
And I think the biggest thing was that
you speak Japanese?
I do not speak Japanese.
Then how do you talk to him?
Very broken English. Yeah.
So you all are staying together for 1 year, and then you're using sign language.
Like 6 months, I think. Yeah. I think he's seen me naked. I've seen him naked. It's like, not great.
What?
Yeah. No. I think the biggest issue, surprisingly, and I didn't understand it, was that he didn't have connections back then with the. It's probably easier now, but back then he had no connections with suppliers because they're gatekeeping. So he couldn't order things. He couldn't get special access to ingredients and whatnot.
He's just a very good chef.
He's just a very good chef, but he was a very good restaurant, full service, like omakase chef, which is different from a Raffles Place lunchtime chef. Right. We're gonna get you the great ingredients, but you gotta be able to cut at speed and serve, right? Like,
don't need to be too perfect.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
80% good enough.
Yeah. 90%.
90% good enough.
Yeah. And so that was a big thing.
Right.
Because we did have local chefs that had a lot of experience.
Lunchtime crowd.
Yeah. So they were working with him and being like, hey, you should try this, try that. But he was just like,
too perfectionist.
No, yeah. So
I know how
point,
exactly
right?
that feels, man. Because like with some OG DJs, right, they still, they have like the back in the day glory days, right, where it's like more every product must be perfect, right? As of now, it's just like blasting, It's different climate, different era.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what was also interesting about that period was we used to have a lot of Japanese customers come to us because they would talk with him. And once he left, the Japanese just immediately stopped coming. And
I mean, that's his burn end clients right there.
His community, that was his community, right? And it was interesting to see the level of support that one can get from the community right away. You know, I should probably take lessons from that even now, but yeah.
So right now the head chef is like a local guy.
Yeah. Malaysian Chinese, been with us since late 2009, early 2010. Executive chef for Standing Sushi Bar. Tanuki is another guy. He was one of the main chefs at Ritz-Carlton.
Damn.
Yeah.
But I heard like chef life is like quite difficult. You need to work like 6 days a week or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I think F&B life is generally difficult. We are 5 days a week for, I want to say the whole team, but I think some of them force themselves to come in an extra day. Not like in a they love me or something so much, but I think I think it's a really interesting thing. I think you get a lot of guys in F&B who are both passionate but super disciplined. And if they think that something's going a little weird or that they're not in full control, that they want to like fucking get a hold of it and take a look at it.
Yeah.
And
sometimes these people, they get stressed out the most easily.
Yeah.
That's what I realized. Yeah.
So I think it's very important that everyone gets a break away from work. People, you certainly shouldn't do 7 days a week. You probably shouldn't do 6 days a week. I vote for 5 days a week. Right. I think if we could ever afford it, because F&B is fucking tiring, man. You're on your feet all the time. It's both physically tiring and then socially tiring, right? You're engaging with people and people are tiring when you're talking to them a lot. That the more time you can give someone to recharge, the better they're going to come back and engage. Especially if their personality is about wanting to connect with folks, then, the more energy they have, the better they're going to be.
Right.
So the
restaurant is open 7 days a week, but you have a roving team.
Most of our outlets are 7 days a week.
But like a rotating shift.
Different shifts. And we try to, rotate like what people get weekends off and stuff. But I think that's always also been a challenge in restaurants, especially in Singapore, where some people, they'll always want the weekend off. And maybe it's because they want to spend time with their kids or something else.
Yeah.
And you get hit with the idea of, there's the foreign worker quota. There's no way to mince words, right? But it's like foreigners that generally want to work full-time in the industry, and then not as many locals are understanding of hospitality in the F&B industry.
Of course.
Yeah. And I think, thankfully, that's changing. I think people are seeing that, I can have a cool career on this, especially if I'm a, social person kind of thing. But the flexibility that everyone reads about for corporate jobs, it's like, how much can we adopt in the F&B industry? And you can.
And it's also long hours, right? So a bit hard to flexible.
It is long hours.
Yeah.
It's long hours. It's two different things. And this sounds bad, right? It's long hours, but as long as your company is paying you the overtime and worth it, then and you're willing to do it,
annual leave
then
also.
And you get to leave, that's important. Yep. You should get that. If someone's exploiting you for long hours and shit, which sadly I think happens a lot in Singapore, then that's different. That shit, man, go to MOM and do that, right?
I feel you, man.
But if you're willing to take the long hours and get your overtime pay and stuff, then I feel okay, right?
Okay, yeah.
Don't be exploited, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shit, I lost my train of thought.
That happens to me all the time here.
Yeah.
But okay, so maybe we can like come to the employee part of the your journey, right? Like now you're no longer an employee, you are a boss now. And then you have to deal with like management talks and maybe like firing employees.
Yeah.
Dude, how the hell, how do you even get yourself ready for that? It's almost impossible.
I think when you're firing someone, it is obviously...
another sake,
Yeah, maybe. No, I still got some.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a little...
Oh, this is damn good. I will get
I'm
fucked
gonna
up.
take a little
Oh my
Aburi
god. Are you
sushi.
driving? I hope you're not.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's damn difficult. Because like, I'm thinking about it as well.
I think firing is one of the most important
business move.
Important business move. I think it's one of the most emotional connections you can have with your employee.
Yeah.
Even the employee that's being fired.
Yeah, agree.
At the end of the day, this might sound idealistic. When you're firing someone, you're giving them it's not the right fit. Or maybe they were terrible, whatever. But you're speeding them on to
the next thing.
The next
better thing.
And if you're willing to be honest with them, to tell them why they're being fired, like, hopefully they will take that as, a learning experience, receptive feedback.
Yeah, not everybody will do that, man. Like,
yeah. I think that is one of the few weird things I've been decent at, that when I fire people, like, to really be honest and direct about, like, look, these are the things that we've talked about. You give them feedback all the time on it. But like when something finally crosses the line, I'm a pretty patient person. Like, it takes a lot for me to fire someone. But when that's gonna happen, I let them know honestly, like, these are the things that you really need to improve on. These are the things that you were really good on. I think if you work on these things, you're gonna be this is how you become a great team member for somebody else. Maybe we can work together in the future, unless they stole or some shit. But like, there wasn't anything morally wrong. But everyone is. Timing plays a part in everything too, right? And how people are developing and whatnot. And so maybe the timing isn't right, and they're still developing, and it's not the right fit for the moment for the restaurant. In the future, maybe they'll come back, kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you give people an opportunity that like they're fired to come back after a few years? Really, it's case by case, right?
It's case by case. So I'm a big believer in case by case. I think a lot of people are not so down that line, but at the end of the day, I live life like everything is case by case. I'm not a big black and white kind of guy. I think everything's shades of gray, and people act differently at different points in their life. Whatever they're going through, and that situation might change at any time. So, unless you're doing something really egregious and terrible, like, I will probably forgive or understand.
What's the worst? Steal. That's like quite common, actually.
Yeah, no. And you know what? I don't know if that's the worst. That's bad.
That's bad. But I don't know, like,
in a way,
beat up a customer or something. That's like jail already.
That might be jail. Depends on what the customer did. I want to make the joke of like, hey, isn't that bad? Some customers you'd be like, it's okay.
Are you serious?
No, what do you mean?
What the hell?
Dude, there's some jerks out there,
I mean, this is not like US or something,
No.
Yeah. Because beat up a customer, right? In a restaurant, right, I can feel you cringe, right? But in the club, it's like damn normal, for us. It's like
the bouncers to hit you. What do you mean?
maybe the staff, not even a bouncer, you know, some certain staff beat up like a VIP or something. It's very common.
Okay. I mean, like,
It's
yeah,
very
I'm talking about
common.
hypothetically. I do not know about the actual.
It's very common. So, like, I think maybe for a restaurant, it's a little bit more peaceful.
Yeah,
Not so much
I
alcohol.
mean, we're definitely more peaceful.
Clubs, everybody having mosh pit and all. We celebrate by mosh pit, you know.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Yeah.
Wow, you know, one of the things that I felt really, really bad about was during COVID. You know, when there were all the weird rules about if you're vaccinated, you can come in a group of 4 or 5.
Right.
Unvaccinated, group of 2.
Safe entry.
All kinds of, right? I think when they started the idea of coming in a group of 4 or 5 you're vaccinated, we happened to be, Tanuki Raw happened to be one of the early restaurants where these guys from China photocopied a fake vaccination certificate.
What?
Right? And to show like, oh, I'm vaccinated, we can dine in a group. And my group, my team, they were like, something's off about this. They even called me and I was like, yeah, something's weird. We don't know what exactly it is.
It looks right,
weird.
But not right.
Yeah.
You know,
Then,
at the same time.
Yeah, one of the team recognized like, oh wait, these are the same. It's just like copied and moved a bit. And so they called the police. And the police came. And they were like, did you serve them yet? And they're like, well, we kept them outside. And then finally we sat them down. And then we told them we could get the food takeaway. And they were like, well, because you sat them down, you might be in violation. I was like, what? Yeah. But then I felt what I felt bad about, it's because, you know, like it was serious at the time. And we're 5 years out from this now, 4 years out.
Is it? Oh my god, we are 5 years already.
Right? It's scary, right? Like I also don't really realize it. It's just
God.
Yeah, it's
we are 5 years already.
Those COVID periods still loom so large in my mind that I always think it's around, but then I gotta tell myself like, wow, no, that was 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh damn, shit.
But so this guy, he was based in China. He was transiting through here to go to a work conference in America. And he did this to meet his friend or something for a meal. Then he had to like go to jail for a day or something. But then he lost his job and got deported. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like, okay, he did something very bad. He should have done that.
Yeah.
But that was like, wow, that punishment was kind of
too severe.
Yeah, I guess.
But I mean, Singapore would like to make a statement, right? No?
And when they started kicking out people like for violating the 5-person rule, whatever, boat parties and stuff. Yeah, and you know, I don't know. Like I'm torn between, it's good, bad. It's it's good, strict, right? But to be part of that, I was like, a bit hard.
Yeah. But during COVID, did your like clientele shrink a lot, or you guys managed to transition smoothly to like take out Grab orders?
I mean, the overall sales definitely shrank, but we were very good and lucky. They started talking about the lockdown, right? And I think, thank God that I had some computer skills or Excel skills. I used to work on Microsoft Excel, so spreadsheet-wise, I'm like, good,
you know all the formulas.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, man, we gotta fucking do something that will allow us to manage deliveries. So I hacked together this like delivery online system, and I think we launched it maybe 2 weeks before lockdown.
Right.
But what was good about that was that, all the media when lockdown starts are like, oh, let's write articles about where can you get, whatever type of cuisine delivered to you.
Yeah.
And because we had island-wide delivery set up, they all mention us. So, first mover advantage, I guess.
Yep.
So people are like, oh, okay, we order from you. And thank God for that. So I think it was good that we set that up. but it was also just really lucky that it got broadcasted. I think it was also interesting, the cocktail bar that we had, Secret Mermaid.
Yeah, I thought that would get hit the most, right?
Yeah. I thought that was going to be dead.
Okay.
But it was funny. The first lockdown, I guess people just didn't know what to do other than drink at home and order food. Like, that's the only thing you look forward to during the day. So Mermaid regularly is limited to 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, and we close at 11 p.m., 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., and we only seat like 15 to 20 people. So we're a very weird, very small cocktail bar. Suddenly, during lockdown, and we had been around 6 years already, so our branding is pretty good. People know about us, right? Like, they like us, I think. And we were one of the first to start cocktail deliveries. And now we've got the branding, and we're not limited to
the physical bar space.
Yeah, we're not limited to only 15, 20 seats, right? It's just delivery. Okay, so for Mermaid, our sales went up like 300%.
What?
Something that was insane. Yeah, that one I didn't get, and that was a way I felt
crazy.
I felt like weird for our bartender team, right? Because bartenders really like to talk.
You get a raise.
People.
You get a raise. You get a raise.
Craft cocktail bars, they're all about engaging people, telling people about the spirits, and just socializing with them. Suddenly, these guys are basically McDonald's. They're like, God damn it, I'm just a factory line here, making these cocktails, putting them into our pouches, and coordinating deliveries, But they're not seeing a customer or anything because there's no customers. It's all delivery. But that one was just a bizarre thing.
In China now it's like trending the live stream sales.
Oh yeah,
maybe you can get them on live stream.
I don't get it. I see that woman who's able to sell 500 items in 3 hours or something.
Yeah,
but she just puts it on, goes. Who's buying that? Why do they buy that?
But apparently there is, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like a thing, and US entrepreneurs are slowly catching up on it as well. Yeah, oftentimes it's like the West invents something, then China copies, right? But right now China is in such a silo, right? They have to start to invent their own stuff. Yeah. And now the West is,
copying that.
The tables have turned, man.
Yeah. So here in Singapore, where I see the live sales work is things like durian.
Oh yeah. Across the street, man. There's this durian. Yeah. So, oh man. So during COVID, right? Were you one of the few that don't have to retrench anybody? Because the club business has to also convert to F&B, which took us a couple of weeks or months to actually get that set up. But you guys already F&B,
Yeah. I think. Well, we didn't retrench anybody because I made it a point that we didn't want to retrench anybody. I think a lot of our team are on
old-timer.
No.
Work permit.
Foreign workers. So
to come back in is extra difficult.
Yeah. So I was like, look, if we retrench one of these foreign workers, it's going to set their life back by, I don't know, fucking 2 to 4 years or something. So you have to go back, no income, no jobs there. I mean, COVID's ravaging their country as well.
Yeah.
So I thought we will try not to retrench. There were some people that got stuck overseas when the lockdown happened. And some of them left, but some of them we were able to keep to help manage delivery logistics. You know what? I'll be honest, sticking to that decision is still having ramifications now.
Yes.
A
lot of people don't understand. After so many years, right? Of not making enough profits and keep the people, right?
Yeah.
You need to maybe 5, 6, 7 years to earn back that loss.
Exactly.
That's
so
crazy.
We're still trying to get over that hump.
Oh my God.
But I don't know. I mean, I just thought it was important. Like, these folks that have worked with us, it's no one's fault, COVID, right? Like,
So when COVID first happened, right, do you like, okay, you know what, this is just gonna last 3 months. We're gonna take, we're gonna like, endure for 3 months. Then suddenly it becomes 2 years, It's like 4 months, 5
right?
months, 6 months. At year number 1, right, what was your train of thought? And you're like owning like so many venues, Wow.
So I
have the thought of like, it's time to cut my losses, man.
no. Yeah, I mean, I think it was 2 things. The early part, I was bit of an asshole to be like, what's this COVID? This is not, more people are getting dengue than they actually get COVID. This is before it really exploded, right? I was like, come on, why are we so worried about it? Then it exploded. Then I was like, oh
shit, man.
So at that point, I was like, you know what? We're all fucked. So I'm going to try to not fuck the whole team. And if only one person can get fucked, then just let me get fucked. Because as the business owner, I guess, like, all right, everyone else get paid. I don't. And then we shut down. Okay. I mean, not okay. That's not what I wanted, but it was
ultimatum.
Yeah. But if I want to get fucked, then then I'll just take the hit in a way. And, well, it was COVID. That was it.
Right.
So I think that's why it's weird right now. Everyone, I think, in the industry thought that post-COVID would be amazing, like for business. So it's been a big disappointment that once the borders open, that business is actually slowed down compared to your late 2021 and mid 2022. Those were actually very good times, I suppose, in
revenge spending.
Yeah, but when people were still stuck here.
So
they were still revenge spending, but just
locally.
Yeah. Now
revenge other country.
Now you see all your online media portals doing reviews of JV restaurants and cafes because they know that everyone's going there. So, the restaurants and the cafes here in Singapore are like...
So I see 2 futures, right? One, right, is that restaurant industry becomes a media company where you are like, self-promoting yourself. Because what saved you during COVID is during when I don't know, Mothership or Channel News Asia broadcasting this thing to the world, right?
Yeah.
You guys are on like Grab delivery. Yeah. So rather than relying on other people, maybe you need to start relying on your own media capacity. And then second thing, right?
Yeah.
Is robotics.
I agree on the first one. Second one, as a mass market, I would agree on. Well, I don't know.
Maybe let's talk about the first one first.
Oh yeah, okay.
Starting like,
so media,
I don't know, Tanuki media.
No. Everything now, and this is I don't know if pet peeve is the right word, but Christ, man, everything needs to be about entertainment right now on social media. Like, every restaurant that's putting shit out there.
Hey.
Like, I get it, right? Like,
dude,
no man.
Have you seen some? I sent it to my friends, man. Okay, so basically this guy is like Asanebo restaurant. Okay.
Wait. Don't put the barbecue sauce,
Just the fact that he's using a cursor, and I'm like, nice.
Yeah, and
What
91,000
Yeah.
like, so for all of y'all that cannot see it, right, it's basically Asanebo restaurants. And this old guy, that looks like a respectable Japanese guy, right? He's like scolding bad words and shit. And then he's just going on the streets and trolling people. And he shows you like how he can make it in such a way that... Yeah.
That's cool that he's hooking the attention first.
Yeah.
I think that every restaurant now needs to be some kind of media producer. I think a lot of
DJs
it
also.
has to be... Yeah. No, I mean, everyone, right?
I'm a musician,
Every
now I'm doing TikToks.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be entertaining. It's almost got to be comedy to get it in. And it's like, this is not why I open a restaurant. I don't need to do this. But I recognize you need to do this. Like, that's to get...
I mean, like Wendy's on Twitter, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and that one I love. I gotta say, like, do you think that would work here, though?
Yeah.
You think? Singapore?
No, you know why? I don't think it will work pre-COVID, but after COVID, right, where you look at the TikToks that Gen Z are creating, right, they don't care good or bad publicity. Publicity is just publicity. That's it, you know. So they're oftentimes making fun of themselves. Whereas people in our era, right, it's like, oh, we try to put out the best work so we don't let people say us, you know. When people say us, it's like, oh my god, that places a dent on my integrity. But for them, it's like, hey, fuck it, you know. I get likes and views, that's all it matters. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe, you know. Because I think it's quite interesting, you know, this guy, the Asanebo restaurant guy, is like, dude, I like binging the content, you know.
Wait, where's my phone? Do you know this izakaya where they, oh, wow, it's literally the first one on my fucking feed. These guys, all they do is post dance videos at their shop. Funny, interesting ones.
Izakaya Duki.
Yeah.
Is it Japanese?
Yeah, they're in Nagoya.
Oh, right. This is on Instagram Reels.
Yeah, they don't show any food, they don't show anything. They just got different people dancing. But
to like live customers.
Yeah. But you know what? As weird as like I watch them all the time, and I'm like, if I ever fly and go to Nagoya, I will go to this izakaya. But I'm like, I don't fucking know anything about their food. I don't know anything about what they serve.
So,
but
if you realize
funny,
there's two clickbait moments, right? One is like the girl coming out in the middle of the restaurant dancing her ass off and this guy filming.
Yeah.
Then the second half of the video, right, is the guy is not even filming the girl, he's filming himself.
Yeah.
So it's like literally people will stay all the way.
Yeah.
And then percentage watch time is high, and then you know, then it goes viral.
Yeah.
That is insane.
So you're aware about percentage watch time, like there's a factor in the thing, right?
Yeah, because it's huge on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Likes, comments, not enough really. So on Instagram, right, apparently according to Adam Mosseri, who's the CEO of Instagram, right, the biggest factor for Instagram is shareability. Yeah, so I watched this documentary, right, where they say that the rise of BuzzFeed. Why BuzzFeed is so successful? Because then the BuzzFeed CEO come out and say that, I think the CEO or somebody, he said that, right, do you know what inherently is good content? Porn is good content. But it's not shareable because of moral, you know.
Yeah.
So, right, I will create a content that will spread more than porn. That's shareable content. You know, so I create dang memes, listicles, you know, that kind of things. So even though my content might not be organically as good, but because of the shareability, right, then it wins, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
Shareability.
There you go, man.
That is the word for, well, the past couple of years and probably 2025.
Yeah. So for I guess for most restaurants, right, is like, I think it's really word of mouth. But I think to stand out, I guess social media. I guess maybe.
Social media. That's the thing. Yeah, social media is definitely the tool to utilize for standing out. But most restaurants, including us. You know, we just post our food. We post nice videos of our food, but it just gets lost in the sea of the same thing. So, yeah, I mean, we need to figure out how to be more entertaining, how to showcase something else. But
okay, I give you my perspective on music. Maybe you can apply it on restaurants. Okay, so now AI, right, can literally do anything.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it Gemini AI or like some other AI, right?
Yeah.
You can literally tell it to like, okay, can you make 100 variations, right, of a song that sounds like Madonna featuring Taylor Swift? Then you will just speed it out in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you as a music producer is like obsolete already. So you're not a music producer anymore. You're just a curator. You're just, okay, you have like 100 songs, right? Maybe 99 of it is bad. So I'll choose the best one. And then I'll take it apart and modify it so that it becomes my flavor. And then, because AI can do everything already, right? So why are you putting so much emphasis on the music, aka the cooking portion, right? So like I can use AI, you can use AI, 10 other people can use AI, right? So why people will want to come to my performance, why people will want to come and watch me perform, right? As compared to the millions of other people that can also use AI, is because they like me more. That's the tiebreaker. They like me more.
The affinity to you.
They resonate
right?
with my journey. It's like the liberty spirits can sell better to the bartender.
Mm-hmm.
They like can click with you, you know. So I think that becomes slowly more and more important. You know, I come from an engineering background where like facts are very important, like how well you do something, right? But shit, now they invent AI, man. It's like something like totally out of our wildest imagination, you know. And AI plus robotics is just game over to everything.
So, what do you think about AI? Is this a positive?
No, I think it is like you better use it, if not you get eliminated.
Right.
Last time I used to like look at it
There's
as
a lot of
negative.
resistance right now to AI still, right? Especially on the creative side, which I understand, I get. But
You're an artist, you know.
So I use some AI generated images and stuff when I'm posting on Instagram once in a while. But I always feel a bit weird when I do it because I know there's such a strong community out there, groups of folks out there that are like, they're like, this is AI, I think you suck then right away. And it's like, for the business side, it's like, I'm just trying to put out some little content that I can write something about to talk about, right?
Right.
But there is a big backlash about AI, I feel.
Yeah. But for now only, because I remember the time.
Because for now.
Right.
Because I think it is inevitable. Like,
remember the time when camera phones was just created? It was just not too distant. And then you try to take a selfie, it feels weird. Do you remember that sensation? Now it's like normal, you know, you take selfies with everybody, you know.
And to be honest, I still feel weird taking stuff. That's how old I am. It's like, selfies still weird. But
but eventually people will get over it, you know. Yeah, but you cannot also be too forward, then end up you are like Galileo inventing the telescope, getting throw stones by people. You have to find that sweet spot, I guess. So maybe, you know, in the secret lab, you're cooking some AI robotics tool, and then once everybody can accept it, you just launch it like, oh, I've been ready for 5 years, guys. You know, something like that. Yeah. So other than the restaurant, are you like working on other things, or you are like so busy with just the day-to-day?
I want to work on a lot of other things, but I think right now, the majority of the time is focused on the restaurants.
But do you have a business partner or something?
I mean, my wife helps me a lot. She works.
Oh my
a lot.
god, it's the same as me. And our studio owner Jace also. All of our girlfriends are our business partners, man.
Yeah, and I think that is a extra addition to our marriage for her to have to do that. And I'm very grateful for what she contributes, because definitely she has a very different mindset and different skill set than I have on it.
Yeah. Same for me as well.
Yeah. And I've learned to respect how valuable that is, I gotta say.
Yeah. As a guy, usually, right, when your girl says something, right, for the first 2 years, you're like, you know. But slowly, then you realize, oh my god, they're like right all this while, you know. They have like some sixth sense, you know, which is like, I don't understand how is that even possible?
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's hard for her because she had to battle the fact that I started the business. So everyone's always going to be like, this is my baby. The restaurants is yours, right? But she's been involved with it since like 2014 kind of thing.
Wow, day one fan, man.
Yeah. And so I think it's good. I'm glad she's also created her own new business.
Which is what? Can we reveal it?
Yeah, you can reveal it. I think she will want me to describe it accurately, and I'm still not great at describing it. But it's essentially...
promo.
She is a great example of the Singapore government being like, everyone needs to train up, skill up. So during COVID, she got... there was a lot of funding to take new courses. And
Skills Future.
Yeah. So she went into the curriculum development side of things, the education side of things, because the government's really pushing this. So for any company that is looking to make their processes more efficient and systematic. Is that a word? Systematize.
Like streamline your operations.
Yeah. And like document the processes on how to make this operation repeatable, which is great for franchising. Like you want to franchise something, you need to have those things listed, right? So she can do that for you. She can also create in-house training that the government will support with grants and whatnot. Like, because you have to be you have to be able to create the curriculum in a certain way in order for the government to support it with grants. So she can do that.
Wow, that's so hard to describe. It's like back end of the back end, you know.
Yeah, right. And so I'm like, I try to describe it. I know I'm not good at it.
It's important, but like people don't understand the importance.
Yeah, and so I think that that's the thing. People don't understand the importance, and people don't understand how much of this is needed and going on. Even I don't really get it, right? But like because she has been working with a lot of companies now and meeting a lot of the folks in this area. And they're like, yeah, I get it. I know I need to do this and that. And I'm like, you get that? You do that? Oh, okay. But it's happening everywhere. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually quite big, you know? Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, it's like every establishment, you need to have service people, you need to have like operators, and all of them need to know how the company, or know the company's SOP, right? Maybe you're an experienced bartender, but in another bar, they do it a different way.
Yeah.
And you need like the training and all that.
Yeah, you need training.
Yeah, people just, I guess like the consumer POV is just like, bartenders just miraculously know everything. They just miraculously can memorize on a menu. Yeah, but then in the back end, there's a lot of,
I mean, I think
and a lot of costs also,
successful spots are doing repeatable processes, right? Like,
right.
Like they have a formula to how to make it work.
Yeah. So, did that kind of like impact your relationship? Like, if I guess initially you're working a day job and then you're doing business, and then your whole entire mind is just like all about your business, and then like I don't know how did your girlfriend, now wife, take it? That you are like just talking about work all day. Or are you able to have a balanced life like the perfect human? I can't, man. I'm just constantly talking about work,
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, maybe I come off sounding not even Gen X, but boomer on this, but I think the idea of a balanced life doesn't exist in a way. I mean, and not in a bad way, but like.
Are you still Henry?
Yeah, I'm still on the Henry side. Due to the overexpansion in the past now.
And COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
I think when you... I'm trying to think of how to describe it, right? Like, look, balanced life, work-life balance, all that, I think it's great. Like you should seek that out. It's important. But obviously it's not always going to be a 50-50 thing. Life doesn't work that way. It works in surges, I'd say. And you really want to change your life, you're probably going to have to do a surge at some point.
Yes.
And you want to keep up an interesting life, you probably have to do a surge. And you want to coast in life? Great. Then you don't need to surge, right? Like you just, okay, I want this. I'm comfortable with this. Then I'll just hang out. But the idea of just hanging out and being comfortable, again, nothing wrong with it. Like if that's the level that you want, it's not about money, right? It could be about your time freedom. It could be about your responsibility freedom. Like that's good then. That's what that's what you're ready for, then great. But when you want to advance at anything, like you gotta put in more effort, I suppose, at the end of the day. And that hasn't changed in forever. Right?
I think like in a interview with Eminem, right? No, an interview with Akon, and then he's saying like, okay, when he wrote "Smack That" with Eminem, that old song, right? And then he was like, okay, he reached the office at 5 p.m. And Eminem is like about to go out, and then he's like, what the fuck? I just reached, It's like, okay, I'll be back at 9. So he'll come back at 9, he'll go to lunch at 1, he leave at 5 every single day. So he like treat his job like a 9 to 5, like very religious, very dedicated, right? And then Akon is like, oh my God, is that the key to success? But I think it's like widely misinterpreted because I think Eminem has already reached a level of success before he adopt that 9 to 5 routine. He probably be like 3 days not sleeping in his earlier days, right? To write all the bangers, And then eventually when he has a daughter, he's more successful already, right? Then he start to like, in maintenance mode, Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't really see that perspective.
Yeah. So, which makes me curious about this is really going to make me sound like an old man. The younger folks today, like, in a way, I really love that people are cognizant about work-life balance. People are cognizant about being treated correctly in the workplace.
Yeah.
All that is very good. I think it's also about allowing yourself, though, to be like, look, I want to work doubly hard and stand out from others.
Yes.
And I guess the tricky part is now of getting your due, getting rewarded for it. I think right now, you can argue it two ways, right? Like, if I were to work hard, I want to get rewarded for working hard.
Yes.
Right now. I don't want the gamble that I work hard and that maybe I don't get rewarded for it.
That's called doing business.
Yeah. But you can do that individually for your career as well, right? Like, I'm working harder than what my role requires me to.
Climb the ladder.
Yeah. And whether someone's going to notice me for working harder and then I get promoted, I get more money, that's the gamble.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an article, right, that says that, right now Gen Z don't care about money. You just care about getting treated right. So it's like you pay them a bunch of money, right, but you ill-treat them, right? They wouldn't stay like how the millennials and the Gen X would.
Yeah.
Last time we sell our life for money, man,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's true, right? Like, I don't know.
And then also, right, my perspective of Gen Z is like, you know what, they're like they just want to be treated well. They don't really want to fight for their place, right? So it's like so difficult to trust them. That was my initial perspective. But then as I start to work with more and more of them, right, I realized that there are select few, right, that stand out from the rest, right?
Yeah.
It's because they're extra hustler in the climate where nobody's trying to hustle.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you can never, you paint the generation like broadly, right? Like, we all paint that. Gen Z is like mental health very important.
Yeah.
They don't want to hustle. They don't care about money.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always going to be people who are like,
capitalize on
this.
Everybody's chilling, right?
Like, all right, then great.
The sharks, man.
Yeah.
But their ideation, is very different. And then oftentimes I'll be like, how do we hit a particular demographic, right? They have like something that I would have never in my wildest thought, come up with that idea. And then I'm like, oh shit, is that actually gonna work? And then it worked, right? I'm just like, yeah. So I think I'm seeing a lot of like CEOs of companies, right, big companies, they are slowly adopting the process. Like, I know how to do the traditional supply chain and shit, right? When it comes to reaching the masses, marketing and all that kind of thing, wow, you just leave it to them, because they are like speaking a whole new language. All of them are using a different abbreviation every day. I'm asking them, what is like ISTG, Yeah.
I mean, it's not even right. Like, it's both like the language they use, but the communication style. Like, hey, let me send you a short clip instead, and like, I'd be like, come on, you're sending an audio message. I don't ever want to hear an audio message from someone, and they're sending me a video clip instead. And I'm just like, oh, this is not.
Can I have your number? No, add me on IG.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a good way, I also feel they have no boundaries. They're like, oh, I see the boss on it. Let me just message the boss.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to skip all the layers in between, just message the boss kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a democracy of communication or something. But
Yeah, but I think at some point it has to like it doesn't have to follow tradition, but at the end of the day, it has to create better results in a way. Like you can do any way you want, you know. If it helps everybody earn money, all for it.
Sure.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's all about survival, right? And then once you can attain survival, then it's all the other nice things on top of it. Yeah. Okay, great. Anything else you want to shout out about upcoming new menu or
I don't know when
business
this will get be released, but we sell you shunk.
This is like second week of Jan, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, okay, perfect. Right before Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
We're open during Chinese New Year.
Yeah, Lao, then go visit your family.
Lo hey, order from us, we deliver.
Yeah.
You want a drink? Go to Jewel, World is Flat, best cocktail bar in an airport. You'll enjoy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you all like partner with like, I don't know, like clubs or something? Like you guys are the early hours. Have you partnered with Bar Crawl actually?
I have not.
Singapore pub crawl, like they call it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's like they will like jump like 10 different places or something like that. Yeah, pretty interesting. Yeah. Can check it out. Okay, thank you so much for today. Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah.
Did we do the 2? Oh my god.